Hi everybody, my name is Aaron.
And I'm Naomi.
This is Heard It Now, and today we got Juice WRLD with his album Goodbye Good Riddance. This is a highly recommended album. A lot of people want us to listen to it. So we're going to jump right into it, and here's intro.
I told you to stop fucking calling me. Every fucking time you call me,
Fucking don't.
on Facebook.
All platforms.
I feel like, it's just a bunch of chicks, and different chicks, yelling at him. I'm assuming him. So I feel like it's like setting up the album for the type of songs that are going to be on it. It's probably going to be nothing but like hate towards chicks.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm predicting right now.
Like setting up the case where it's like, yo, all these chicks got me fucked up. All these chicks hurt me.
I feel like that's what this is going to be.
We'll see. So the next track is All Girls Are the Same. Push and play.
Yeah. No.
These hoes are sad. The whole got me. I'm a jealous boy, really feel like John Lennon.
Yo, I dig his flow a lot.
So do I.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really into this track so far. And he did a shout out to John Lennon. It's pretty dope. I think he has a track called Jealous Guy, which I think is what he's referencing there. This track so far is pretty good. It's definitely on the melancholy side, and definitely along the lines of what the title track says, all girls are the same. A girl has him wrong, and he's going to prove her wrong, and, you shouldn't have broke up with me, not me. Jealousy, feeling jealous.
But it seems like he's talking about multiple girls, so maybe he's just been in multiple bad relationships.
That might be the case. When someone does break up with you or reject you or anything like that, you feel like the smallest person on earth or whatever, like no one's going to love you, no one's going to care about you. And so that is going to drive a power in you to want to, to move forward and come out a better person and a bigger person than they are,
Yeah.
I don't fit in, I don't fit in. Tell me what's the secret to love, I don't get it. Feel like I be running a race, I'm not winning.
I like that line. Tell me what's the secret to love, I don't get it.
And it's fuck feelings, my sorrow go up to the ceiling.
He's kind of lyrical.
He is. I was gonna say, like, he's actually expressing his feelings, man.
Yeah, like pretty well. He has this line, I know I'd be tripping, I'm still wasting my time, all the time given, am I dying, am I living? It's fuck feelings, my sorrow go up to the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the way that he presented that along with his flow, especially that line, all the time given, for some reason, had a resonance to it. I'm definitely into his lyrical style.
Yes, I can't take, 'cause all these girls the same.
The part I probably like the least is probably the chorus. The chorus didn't really grab my attention all too much, especially compared to the verses. The rhythm was there in terms of his flow. The music behind it was nice and gentle.
I enjoyed it.
Alright guys, we've actually heard the song Lucid Dreams. Go down in the description. There's a link there if you want to watch that reaction. We're going to jump right into the next song.
Up next, Wasted, and it's featuring Lil Uzi Vert, who is retired at the moment.
Wasted, GTA love, bitches wasted. She Medusa with a little Pocahontas. She been laced time that we together, I'm unconscious. Hold on, no, I saw her put the perks in my chronic. Deep to my eyes roll back like the old man.
Oh shit, I like that.
Yeah, that was a good line, but yo, you shouldn't be crushing up your perks into someone's chronic and not tell them. Always tell them. Make sure they know. If they prove, I mean.
Just another funeral for her. Goddamn. GTA love, bitches wasted. Take it, let you know my weed, please don't listen. That's a bomb.
Take it, let you roll my weed, please don't lace it. He's asking her, like, dude, you fucked me up last time when you put that perks up in there in my chronic.
Mm-hmm.
Please, stop lacing that shit.
I don't want the money, I just want the body. That what she said when she lived in the valley. The boy of your father, cool in my top.
All these young kids are freaks, man. I'm telling you. I don't even know how old Juice WRLD is, but they're all freaks.
Take a blue cat, keep tweaking my shop. Work on my chains, don't hit like no cop. Testing the nigga on my head, I don't ever tell. That's the reason that I rock on my op.
That was a good song. It's not my favorite. I felt like it was personally a little bit long. The hook repeated a little bit too much.
Yeah, they could have cut like a chorus or a bridge down, maybe shaved it down to like a 3-minute song and change. Because the overall content of it, you know, wasn't something that they obviously could explore a lot further. But the lyrics that were in there were funny. Like, the verses were definitely top-notch quality. Like, in terms of, I don't know if they're trying to be funny, but they made me laugh.
Well, they had really good verses. Like you said, they were humorous.
Sitting here about 3 minutes in, and I felt like I heard the whole track.
Me too.
Like, I knew that there was a minute more to go, but I seriously was like, no, I already know it's coming.
Yeah.
The chorus is coming again. It's kind of like when you watch, like, a movie trailer that's, like, says everything up front.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you already know what the whole movie's about from, like, 30 seconds of watching the trailer. It was kind of like that a little bit. Within the first minute or so, you kind of got the gist of what's going on. Like, they didn't really go anywhere else musically or lyrically, even though I thought the verses were really good, and the technical skill and the rapping was actually pretty good, too.
Yeah. Up next, Armed and Dangerous.
I get the cash amount, I do the dash amount. Look at my bank account, look at the cash amount.
I like the song so far. It's not anything that I haven't heard in the past. He's just flexing his cash amount. But like the beat's pretty catchy though.
Exactly.
I can listen to it and not hate it, you know?
Yeah, that was actually the first thing I thought of when this song first hit was the beat selection so far, really good on his part. Like, he's working with really quality beats. The flows are catchy enough that it's almost like good, and I mean this in a positive way, like really good background music. Like if you're working on something or something, like you're trying to be creative. Just because his flows are kind of creative, like they're fun, and they go along with the beat really well, and the beat selection is really good.
Yeah.
Some of the lyrical content, like here, like at least in the chorus or in this first bit here, you know, not the strongest, but the flow is really good.
Take off your body parts, yeah. I'm swinging when I'm off the head, get beat him dick like Moby. Gonna make him flash Adobe, yeah.
I get why the song is called Armed and Dangerous. He literally has a line where he's like, I'm in town, party's going down, shoot him down with a 50 round. So who are they shooting up? That's what I want to know, like, because this song is pretty catchy, but who the fuck are they talking about shooting up?
You blend in violence, like just...
I want to shoot a motherfucker.
It's just like this Motown beat.
Like, yeah. Yo, there's gonna be bullet holes in his head. And like, what? Yes.
Like, you want to show your grandma because it's so catchy and shit?
Because it's like, it was a pretty, like, enjoyable song. Like, I didn't feel like it was too long or anything. Like, it was perfect. Like, the length of it, and, like, I could listen to it again and be alright with it. But right there, I want to know who we're shooting down.
It's everybody in general. You know, he's just armed and dangerous.
He's saying he's in town.
Yeah.
In the chorus, so...
Yeah. He's in everybody's town. He's like Santa Claus.
Oh, shit.
With a strap. Are you on his naughty list or on his good list?
He's a freak and he shoots the ones on his good list.
Oh,
and
shit.
saves the ones on his naughty list.
I don't even know what that means.
Alright, guys, the track listing from here, you know, I don't know how you guys see it. There's some discrepancies between Genius, Google, Wikipedia, Spotify. So we don't really know what's next for all of y'all. I just know on Spotify, the next track is Black and White. So we're just going to get into Black and White.
Yeah.
We're going to push play on Black and White. At least in the first couple beats, for some reason, it reminded me of Dream On.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm in my black pins, doing cocaine with my black friends. We'll be high as hell before the white bins, doing codeine with my white friends.
This guy really does coke or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe in the past.
Tell me, are they working? Are they working? Tell me, are they working?
Okay, so basically, he's acknowledging the kind of cyclical pattern where he takes something, makes him feel better, but also kind of hurts him, and he's saying it's like surgical. It's getting to some kind of deep-rooted problems. He still has a good feeling about it, based just on the music and everything else about it, right? It's kind of like upbeat. Doesn't seem to be feeling too bad about it.
Pills with the Hennessy, I might throw up.
Did you just say pills with the Hennessy? I might throw up. I might throw up.
Yeah.
These guys party really hard.
Juice WRLD, you know, he's flipping people off when he drives in passenger.
Oh, that's me every day.
I just realized that is this dude driving passenger and speeding off?
Or he could be somewhere in Europe.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, he's ditching some European girl and flipping her off?
He's in the UK.
Yeah, that might, in other countries, that might actually not be a bad sign. That might actually be like some kind of greeting.
I don't think so.
So you should take into account.
Cold and I seal, pouring up this purple shit until it's in my piss.
like how he has to switch cars to do coke.
You gotta make it an event. It starts with your car choice.
I got a question. When you do coke with your brown friends, do you have a brown Benz?
Yeah, why is brown people left out? Always. I almost left because I was so insulted. The song was like humorous in a way. It was what it was. It was fun, but to me, it's not something I'd return to.
I feel like I could hear it like in a club, in a nightclub somewhere.
Yeah. Like I'd be able to enjoy it somewhere, but not something I'm personally gonna go and push play on, like driving around or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't one of my favorites personally.
He does have a really good singing voice though. Up next, Lean With Me.
Drugs got me sweating, but the room getting colder. Looking at the devil and the angel on my shoulder. That's where I belong, where I belong.
I really enjoy the bass behind it, like the pop element that it has also on top with his voice. Like they do that really well.
Eyes red, no Visine, crashed the Mustang, no saline.
I enjoyed that song.
It's an okay song for me. It didn't have a lot of dynamics. Kind of felt like it kind of stayed in the same lane. There wasn't enough intriguing elements going on. Articulates himself pretty well, sometimes better than others. Sometimes the topics he chooses to cover are a little bit repetitive. And so when we hear his take on his ideas about drugs or drug intakes for like the 4th, 5th time in album form, it's going to have a different impact on you than hearing the song by itself. Who knows how I'd feel by itself. But in album form, yeah, no, it just didn't really capture me, you know, like it didn't have enough maybe pop elements to it, and it didn't really have enough technical aspects to it for me to enjoy it in that aspect either.
See, I thought it was gonna be more about how girls broke his heart, but this is more about how girls drove him to do drugs. Up next, I'll Be Fine.
I didn't do the right drugs, only on the wrong night. I was gonna eat like lunchtime, Molly got her on time. Fuck niggas don't get respect, but I'm a I said, hold on, go away, I'ma be fine. I said, hold on.
I really like the multi-layered vocals here and the way it's interplaying with the bass and the overall beat. And the beat kind of has like this charm to it, while the bass just kind of is a little bit dirtier and just kind of like blurting in there, kind of like abruptly to kind of like dirty the waters a little bit. It's really catchy too. I think like the it's very hooky. I'm into this track so far.
I like it.
But in the meantime, bitches lean time, Papa bean time. She gon' eat like lunchtime, Molly got her on time. Fuck niggas.
I really like that line, Molly got her on time.
Yeah.
Because she's probably all jacked up.
Put it in her mouth just like Colgate. Get out of line and you get pushed in your...
Did you just say put it in her mouth just like Colgate?
That's what he said.
That is fucking disgusting.
Remember when they used to diss me in the lunch line? Now I'm eating steak and eggs when it's lunchtime.
Oh, shit.
I remember eating ramen with a Glock 9.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
Oh,
when
like
she
the old
left me
days.
for the night. I'ma be fine.
Oh.
Woke up zen.
Okay.
I really catch myself zoning into his music. It's really good. This outro, that change up, it was really cool because I didn't even realize it was happening when it was happening. Like it like slowly like kicked in with like the same music, like the same beats under it. But it was just his voice slowly changing, and of course over time they changed, you know, the music behind it or under it.
The bass got extended, like instead of popping in and out, it was just kind of like a bass, kind of like rumbling. It really extended out the kind of like the melody and the chorus and the verse out a little bit. It was really cool. And what was cool about this song is the chorus was probably the best part. It was like the catchiest part. It was the flow was really catchy. The actual hook part of it, the way they ended their words and stuff, catchy. It's probably my favorite song off the album so far, possibly.
Up next, Used To.
You don't hurt as bad as you used to. I admit, girl, yeah, I just use you. I turn up, but I never abuse you. Whoa, my last girl.
Ike Turner, but I'd never abuse you. What does that even mean? In what way are you being Ike Turner then? What other way are you saying you're like Ike Turner? What in the hell does that even mean?
Break my heart again, goddamn. I don't have no friends, goddamn. I'm alone until the end, goddamn.
I like that.
That's good.
I actually really like that song.
I thought the beat choice wasn't the worst. It's not anything I haven't heard before, especially from him. Like, I've literally heard him talk about this specific topic about 5-6 songs in. So, you know, about I do drugs and I like it, but it kind of sucks, but I'm kind of sad about it. I'm suicidal, but at the same time I'm living it up and I got a lot of money. It's all present in about every one of his songs.
Up next, Candles.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because my heart hurts or if I'm insecure. I've come to the conclusion you can kill me if I kill you first.
Jesus.
I've been next thing you know we all on Jerry Springer.
I actually like that song. Like I said, I don't know what it is. I think it's his voice, but I feel like I catch myself like zoning into his music and I'm just like by the end of the song. And I'll like catch myself like 10 seconds before the song's over.
That means you're into it.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't one of my favorites. Lyrically, kind of similar to the other tracks you've heard. The flow wasn't as catchy for me. And because it ran so much throughout the song, it's kind of like if it doesn't catch you, you know, it's not gonna work later on because it's not like he exactly switches it up per se. And so far, that's something I've noticed is some of these songs kind of just meander in the same space. Like they just kind of feel really contained. So that might be like a good thing for some listeners, to be honest. All right, the next track is Scared of Love.
He's telling you that he's on the drugs way too much. He's telling you that he's on the drugs way too much, and that's why it's in his music so much.
He's definitely on them way too fucking much.
And it's all kinds of drugs. Like, I've heard songs about cocaine, I've heard songs about xanning, I've heard songs about smoking, pot. I haven't heard heroin or crack.
Yeah, because those aren't hip anymore. Like, if this was 1990s, maybe he'd fuck with that shit. But 2018, he's on the Molly.
And Molly's too.
Right, he's on the Molly, he's on the Xan, and he crushes perks in his chronic. Yeah, at least he's doing all the hip drugs.
And he mixes something with Hennessy. I don't remember
pills.
which one it was. Yeah, pills.
Just pills in general.
Okay.
He has a cocktail of pills.
All I ever do is get fucked up. All I ever wanted was a real love. Every day I wonder if I could pick my...
I feel like this song is his most honest song that he's ever made. I feel like he's literally saying it all in this song.
Is it because you just heard 8 tracks of him talking about doing a bunch of drugs?
Yes, but he's actually admitting it here.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you know what? 8 tracks in?
Like, we were all thinking it, and now you're saying it.
Way too late, Russian roulette, okay.
That was a good verse.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really well-written verse. That was catchy. The wordplay was good enough. I got exactly what he's talking about. He's saying he's running out of Xan, so he's going crazy. I won't end up in a coffin. You know, Russian roulette, so I'm assuming he's playing suicidal games with himself. I don't know if he's participating with Russian roulette with anybody. I don't know if this is a game that people play.
I mean, fuck.
No, but I really enjoyed that verse. That was a good verse.
I'm not enough, you're way too much and I'm not getting enough. You're way too much, still not getting enough.
With the last verse and with the last chorus, I like the way they faded in and out his voice with the last 2 lines of each section. It kind of sounded like it was going to end, but it didn't, and it just kind of went on just a tiny bit.
I like the verses in the song. The choruses kind of dragged for me. The melodies, I kind of feel like I've heard them a lot in this album. Like, I just feel like I'm hearing a lot of the same sounds at this point. It's almost like to be expected. It's okay just for someone to have a style. So, you know, I'm not saying that it's exactly a bad thing, but, you know, whether or not it's going to be my taste or something like that, it honestly varies from track to track. Because, for example, in this song, like, the verses are awesome, but the chorus is just a little too draggy for me. So I can only take so much out of each of these songs, mainly because they don't really go too far out of their way to be expanded. Like I always say, like, they feel contained, like they're very tight and on message and on cue, which is cool, but I never left really surprised.
I actually enjoyed this song. I could see myself going back to this song.
The verses were really actually kind of catchy. Like, his flows were catchy, and the way he articulated his verses was fairly impressive.
Up next, Hurt Me.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but the drugs won't hurt me, the drugs won't hurt me. Ex-girlfriend, please don't hurt me.
Is his family concerned for him? Because this is a message, like a cry for help. He has been heartbroken numerous times.
Yes.
And he is self-medicating to numb himself from all the pain.
And he says he's with his bros, and I got his pole screaming, "Please don't urge me, please don't nudge me." What's going on, Juice WRLD?
What's going on?
Concerned.
Smoke my dope and I pop my perky and log my phone cause his hoes be lurking, yeah.
I actually like that song. I don't think it's my favorite, but I liked at the end of the line when he would go, yeah.
Yeah, there are elements I liked about it. It kind of was atmospheric a little bit. The kind of way they transition between the verses and like the pre-chorus and then going into the chorus. That was pretty interesting. You know, there were some interesting elements. Lyrical subjects, again, are the same. He's doing drugs. It's kind of hurting him, but here he's saying it's not hurting him. Other songs are saying he's doing too much drugs, and this one he's like, yo, it's not hurting me. And he has like a mixed relationship with these drugs. Like I said in the beginning, it's cyclical. Like it provides relief for him, but also it's kind of hurting him. And in this song, it is expressing a moment in time where he's like, yo, the one thing in the world that's not hurting me right now is these drugs. And even the girlfriend calling on the phone, it's like it's a phone, so you can just put it away, you know. It's like they just push it away. It can't hurt me. I appreciate that. Like I kind of at least understood his perspective on this track. It wasn't one of my favorites, but I actually appreciated some of the elements in it. Alright guys, the next track is I'm Still.
I'm holding my breath and watching my step. Bitch, I'm still flexing with my heart broken.
I like the way that he says
Bitch.
like it's so like it's louder than everything else that he says, and the way he comes in with it,
Bitch.
like he
Yeah.
starts every line with it, every
Yeah.
other line.
Lyrically, I'm digging it too. The delivery on this track so far is kind of refreshing because it's lacking some of that auto-tune and some of the vocal manipulations that sometimes go over his voice. Like there's certain pockets where it's a little bit cleaner and it's kind of like coming through a little bit raw, which I appreciate a little bit more. Especially with the lyrical content he's talking about, I don't really like it hiding behind a bunch of layers of effects and stuff like that. It's kind of like with that kind of lyrical content, you almost want it to feel as raw as the lyrics he's presenting it.
It also sounded good, the guitar
Yeah.
that it started with.
Beat choice is pretty good on this album, and the guitar was super rhythmic the way they chopped it up.
Kind of sounded Latin to me a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, it's like a loop Latin guitar of some sort, which you hear a lot in beats. In this particular case, it was done pretty well. It was really catchy.
Bitch, I still love my pills. I feel you can't feel. I feel you can't feel.
You still love your pills, Advils. You're doing way more than Advils, Juice WRLD. We've heard your music.
This one was for the radio.
Yeah.
Fell in love with your face off the shrooms.
Apparently he's into psychedelics as well.
No, he's into everything. He has a grab bag of drugs. If you've ever seen the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, in the opening scene in the desert, Johnny Depp has like a suitcase full of drugs, like, and he has like uppers, downers, and he's like doing all that. Like this dude has fucking uppers, downers, suicidal cocktails of perks and codeine and Xans,
He's
Molly's.
taking ibuprofen with
I see her face in my room. When I'm alone in the room, I'ma blame that on the shrooms. You were lying, bitch.
This song, unlike some of the other songs, has a lot of dynamics in it. Like it fades in and out of volume. The actual musical elements is like they'll have moments of guitar right there. But it was actually kind of beautiful. Like it just was a few seconds of just kind of like this really fast-paced guitar plucking going on. I really dig it. And then he has a change-ups in his flow too. The way he delivers the line, sometimes he's singing, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he'll end a line singing and the one after it will be just head flat, you know. It doesn't have to have the same ending, you know. I don't like when the lines always end with the same hook, you know. It's just like, okay, you know, I get it.
Yeah.
This track, he's varying it up a little bit more.
You can't feel, I feel, you can't feel, I feel.
I like that song. Again, he's talking about the pills and all the drugs that he's on. Maybe I'm getting a little bit tired of it. Just a little bit.
Lyrically, you know, it can be a little tiresome. For me, that kind of got me a little excited again. One of my favorite tracks off the album. I think musically had some of the most dynamic elements so far of what I've heard in this album. His actual delivery, the variations were interesting to listen to. This one was one of my favorites.
Up next, End of the Road.
This is the end of the show, it's over. We doing drugs till we end.
kind of has the Stranger Vibes intro song, the little beat.
That 80s synth music.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Definitely an interesting beat choices. The instrumentation is a bit interactive and rhythmic, reverberated, like has a lot of reverb to it, so it feels like expansive, atmospheric.
The fallen angels, demons with halo. She loves the Coke, but not Coca-Cola. She'll still pop it like a
Those girls are into all the drugs too.
Yeah. That's seriously a joke I've probably been saying for like 6 years. I'm always like, just to family, you know, like as a good old family joke, I'd be like, yo, I got the Coke and I got the soda.
They used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola, like when they first started making it, right?
Yeah.
That was like the thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that still put Coke in the Coca-Cola to this day.
I'm sure.
She
Juice WRLD might.
gon' ride like a roller coaster, and I'm gon' high when the love is over. It's far from over, losing composure.
I like that song. That's one of my favorite songs on the album.
I did enjoy the track myself as well. I enjoyed the instrumentation, and that kind of drove the song for me, mostly. His vocal delivery was interesting enough.
Up next, Long Gone.
I kept all of her paraphernalia, left her makeup and her paintings on my bedroom dresser. Think about the days when I used to undress her.
Why? You guys do realize that he's talking about pretty much like sniffing his ex's like underwear and shit, right? I'm not the only one that's weirded out by this.
Heartbreak mixed with the drugs, not the best thing. The devil trying to test me, I'm failing.
You know what? He sees it himself. Heartbreak mixed with drugs is not the best thing. So, I mean, he realizes it. Why is he doing this to himself? Why?
Why are you doing this, Juicy?
It's like the whole album was literally about how he was heartbroken and his drug intake. I'm not gonna say problems. I'm gonna say intake.
Yeah.
Because, goddamn, how is this guy not dead? He even said that himself.
Yeah.
So it's like he sees it all. Why is he doing this?
I don't know. I don't think he knows.
On the other hand, I think I found my future wife, but she not here with me, so it get lonely at night. Think about the days when I used to undress her.
Made a whole song about it.
A whole song.
Instrumentation interesting. Lyrically, it didn't really capture me. I kind of was a little bit, done with the hook kind of right away. It just wasn't one of my favorites.
I liked it. I'm gonna put it on my favorites list. Did he have to make a whole song about it?
So next up is Betrayal. It looks like it's a skit.
You found out about who? I fuck with him, for real.
I see why he
Oh,
does
you
all
mad
drugs.
now?
Yeah, he's pissed off because his chick is like, yo, I am actually seeing somebody else, and I love it.
And are you mad?
Yeah, are you mad about that?
Did I upset you? Is what she said.
Yeah.
Delete my number. Why the fuck is you still calling me? Why you pressed about me fucking on him?
I mean, in all fairness, if they'd broken up, that's what he said at the end. Stop calling Juice WRLD.
He's obsessed.
Yeah, you're
I'm
obsessed.
telling you, the last song he said it. He still has her underwear, her scent, everything. He probably
Right.
squirts her perfume onto the underwear and sniffs it. Falls asleep like that with it like on his face.
No, you don't spray perfume on underwear because then that ruins the whole point.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know these things. That's pretty fucking gross, though.
Up next is Karma. Looks like it's another skit.
Sounds like an Adele song.
I you like a billion times. Why can't you answer the phone?
Oh, now she's calling him back?
Oh, man. Messing with the guy's emotions.
I told
She's
you.
sorry.
Like, no,
I wonder if these are real recordings. Just
I
kidding.
highly doubt
Just kidding.
You was just calling me.
Well, now he found someone else, boo.
Oh.
You done fucked up.
Basically, just kind of compliments what the album's theme was. Like her wanting him back. And it's called Karma. So it's kind of funny. It's nothing more than a skit to me.
So I guess I understand like what the album was or was supposed to be, like you said, the theme of it. He starts out saying how heartbroken he is. We literally hear throughout the entire album the drugs that he took in because of the pain that this relationship or multiple relationships caused him and all of that. And then at the end, it just confirms it with, like, the voicemails, voice recordings of a phone call.
Alright, guys. This is final thoughts where we give our favorite tracks. and we'll give the album a rating. So what are your favorite tracks?
I really liked Lucid Dreams, which we have a reaction to the music video. I also liked I'll Be Fine, Used To, Candles, Scared of Love, End of the Road, and Long Gone.
My favorite tracks are All the Girls Are the Same, Lucid Dreams, I'll Be Fine, I'm Still, and End of the Road. If you had to give this album an out of 10, what do you give it?
I would give this album a 7.
I personally was thinking 7 myself. Had really, really good moments that honestly could have elevated this album up higher, but the tracks I didn't like kind of bogged it down for me and bogged down the whole album experience for me a little bit.
I agree. I kind of got tired of hearing just about the drug usage that he's aware of. And I was expecting it to go a little bit in a different direction, just of like brokenheartedness, but it was just more about him numbing himself to being brokenhearted. You said 17 tracks of hearing just that. It just got a little bit tiresome.
It kind of just talked about how he coped with the heartbreak, but didn't exactly explain how the heartbreak happened or explain what about his own behaviors might have led to this heartbreak,
or,
like an introspection, you
or,
know?
Yeah, or even just about her more
Right.
specifically. But he's a little selfish, and he's just talking about his numbing problem that he has.
Right. Yeah, there's almost no perspective outside of his own here. Like, he doesn't have a moment where he thinks, like I said, a moment of introspection where he can think about his own actions, like what's good and bad about what he's done, and then as well as in consideration of the other people's feelings too. Like, it felt a little surface level, like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna drink beer and pop pills and do Molly and all this shit. Like, it didn't really get to the point. Like,
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing those things?
But he has a pretty good singing voice, so it kind of makes me just curious to see what his future in music is, because he also has a good taste of like sound, like of beats.
You know, I agree. He had good beat selection. His flows on some of the tracks were actually really catchy. He has an ear for pop. I think the dude has mass potential. I would definitely follow him going forward because he's so freaking young. I just think this album wasn't executed on all fronts like as good as it could have.
Yeah.
And, you know, just wasn't, like, it didn't reach full potential to me. But there's something there with Juice WRLD. I do feel, you know, like there's definitely potential there.
Like, he still hasn't had that like breakthrough moment where you're just like, whoa.
He can't get there though. Like,
Yeah.
we
He
both
has
hear
potential.
Right, we both hear the potential because he's very well articulated. He has good beat selection that are kind of experimental in nature, even though he's kind of stays safe on the melody side. So maybe just like experimenting just a tad bit more can maybe do him a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, good.
He's safe but direct at the same time. So that's gonna be it, everybody. If you like these kinds of music reaction videos, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Helps us out a lot.
If you have any suggestions as to what we should react to next, go down in the comment section down below.
Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at hearditnow.
It's gonna be everybody. Bye.